Last two key speakers in particular highlighted the benefits that immigration has delivered to New Zealand. To quote Minister Wood, it is the lifeblood of New Zealand. Migrants boost the working age population of an economy. They bring in skills that lift our human capital development. And according to the OECD, migrants consistently pay more in taxes and social contributions than they receive in benefits. And the Indian migrant community here in New Zealand is a great example of that. 1 in 20 New Zealanders are of Indian ethnicity, although we are clearly overrepresented in this room tonight. We deliver $10 billion annually to the economy, and that's a number that's growing year on year. And as Neetaji highlighted, we have one of the youngest populations and the world's largest democracy. That pipeline of talent, skills and potential is enormous. Not just for India, but for all countries that will benefit from its net migration. New Zealand is an amazing country. As a recent arrival from Sydney, it's been incredibly welcoming. But as with a lot of developed countries, it's not without its challenges when it comes to migration. There are many in this room who either run businesses or work in allied health type professions that are seeing a real shortage of labour and feeling the pinch. There are others whose families and friends would love to be here, would love to migrate to this amazing country, but feel challenged by the perceived roadblocks of the immigration system, especially in a post-COVID world. So in that context, it was very heartening to hear Minister Michael Wood talk about all the efforts underway to review immigration settings, to streamline policies, to mitigate against exploitation, and to revitalise and rebalance immigration. Because well-balanced immigration, effective immigration, can be transformative. And I'd like to share a little story with you. I'm going to do what all Australians like to do and tell our Kiwi cousins how we did it well. I was the Chief Governance Officer for Snowy Hydro, which is one of Australia's largest energy companies. It is owned by the Australian government, and it was set up back in 1949 with the construction of the Snowy Mountains hydroelectric scheme. It was a giant power scheme aimed at drought-proofing the country and delivering power generation. It was so complex and so large that it was projected to take 25 years and 100,000 workers to complete. Now, the Australian government at the time quickly realised that we would need skills, experience and arms and legs beyond the country's capability. They knew that they needed to invest short-term to deliver those long-term benefits for the country. And so they acted. They implemented targeted migration schemes, assisted migration schemes. They went on an overseas recruitment drive. They expedited processing. They took action ASAP, and it wasn't perfect, and it definitely wasn't easy, coming as it did off the back of decades of a White Australia policy. But it was efficient, it was timely, and it was transparent. Things that are key when it comes to dealing with terms that we use such as human capital, but let's be real, we're talking about people, we're talking about feelings, and we do need to take those into account when setting our policies. As a result of the government's actions, 2/3 of those 100,000 workers, so an incredible 65,000 people, were migrants who came into Australia from over 30 different countries. The scheme that they built is still going strong today, close to 8 decades later. It delivers 1/3 of Australia's renewable energy generation, and it underpins the country's renewable transition. But more importantly, those migrants and their families sowed the seeds for a modern, multicultural Australia. Many of them started businesses, they created jobs, and they introduced vibrant, diverse cultural traditions that enriched their local communities. Communities to which their grandchildren and great-grandchildren continue to contribute today. And that is what effective, well-balanced immigration can do for a country. It turbocharges your economy. It brings in a richer, diverse society, and it lays the foundation for future generations. I'm excited to see what rebalanced immigration can look like for New Zealand, not just in 2023, but for the years to come. The dividends for our economy and the opportunities for our country are endless. Thank you.